your hair is a mess, clap your hands. Hi! So, we're back. So today, we're here to talk about the 5 books that have literally sucked my soul out of my body and has left me just like this. There's nothing to describe the way I'm feeling at the moment. I just want to go over all the books that has made somewhat of a drastic impact in my life in terms of my emotional well-being, just not being okay, because every time I am just sitting and thinking about nothing, you know, just going about my day, being normal, sometimes these books just creep into my head and I wonder about these characters who I know aren't real and they're fictional and they do not exist in this world, but I do not care because you know what? I'm emotionally attached to them.
I'm weird.
I'm a weirdo.
So, the first book that is on my list is The Shadows Between Us. If you haven't read this, I have a full review up on my blog, so I'll link all of my socials below, which by the way, you should follow me. Crazy Slytherin romance. There's a lot of stabbing, there's a lot of killing. Characters are morally gray, and it's just interesting to see the complexities and just depth behind these characters. It was crazy. It's unlike any other book that I've read, in all honesty, and I really like the romance and how the relationship was built between the two main characters, so this is why it made one of my top lists. Next, we have Hand on the Wall, which was book 3 of the Truly Devious series. If you don't know the Truly Devious series, please go check it out. I'll try to have a link to all of the books that I've mentioned down below so you can check out the synopsis, but this is a pretty well-known like YA mystery contemporary book, and yeah, this is just the culmination of things, how it all ends, how it all comes together, and the secret's finally out and we know what happened. And safe to say that this book definitely exceeded my expectations, especially when it comes to books that, you know, end series. You want it to be good, you want it to give you some sense of closure, and I think this book was one of the few books of like series that I've loved that has actually given me some sort of closure. I felt like okay in the way that it was ended, and I know that the characters will be just fine, you know, because they deserve it. This was really awesome, same level of intensity and just mind-blowing revelations as the first and second book, and I loved it so much. So if you haven't read the series, please go check it out. It is definitely worth a try. Next, we have this contemporary YA romance book. It's called Love Boat Taipei. This kind of touches on the Asian American experience of teenagers. So this is based around Ever Wong, who's on the cover. She looks freaking gorgeous. Wow. But yeah, I think this really resonated with me so much because I am Asian American. So some of the things hit really close to home. There are some elements of Asian culture that were touched upon and commented on that I have, you know, experienced and seen from my own life and other people's lives that I've seen and witnessed, like through friends and family, cousins, etc. But I think this is just a really great book that contributes well to, you know, Asian representation in literature. So yes. Next we have Sarah J Maas's Crescent City, and I know you've seen this book, everyone's talking about it. There is literally nobody in the book community who is not talking about this one way or another. So this is the adult fantasy debut novel of Sarah J Maas. If you don't know, she is the author of Throne of Glass and ACOTAR series, which I love so much. But yeah, this was a really great read, especially since I'm more into like YA fantasy, but this was a great like transition into reading more adult fantasy. I have been reading a bit more adult fantasy, so I've been reading A Darker Shade of Magic by V. Schwab. I'm planning on reading City of Brass, and I'm currently working on The Night Circus too, so I'm kind of dipping my toes in a little bit into adult fantasy because I need to accept the fact that I am not 18 years old anymore. I'm 21, so it'd be great to read about characters too who are my around my age group, or around, yeah. Anyway, hi, welcome to Editing Kylie version. I just want to pop in here real quick to make a clarification. I'm not saying that, you know, once you reach a certain age, you should be reading this type of book or moving on to like adult fiction or whatever, that you can't be like reading YA anymore. Trust me, I love YA. I love reading all things YA, even though like I'm way older than some of the characters that I read about. I'm just saying like in here that I wanted to dip my toes a little bit into, you know, like a little bit more older characters like in the adult fiction realm, and there's so many great adult fiction books that I wanted to read about that people who have read YA fantasy a lot also love these books. So yeah, I'm sorry if it came across as like, oh, if you're like this age, you have to read adult fiction only. Like, no, you can read whatever you want. You totally have that discretion, no judgment whatsoever, and that's totally fine. You do you, and don't let anyone tell you what you cannot and can read. Okay, that's it. I'm good. Enjoy the rest of the video. That aside, this book was such a great read. This is a whopping 800 pages. It doesn't look like it because the pages are extremely thin. So this did take quite a while for me to get through, which is fine because I honestly was able to savor every moment of it and just, you know, enjoy it a bit more, because usually books that I do end up loving, I just devour and like finish in 1 to 2 days. This was definitely like a great read, and I can't wait for the next installment. So the final book is, I would have to say, is my most favorite read of the month, and it's only what's the date? It is March 12. It's only March 12. We're not even like halfway into the month, and I'm already claiming that this is my freaking favorite book of the month. That's how good it was to me, and that's how much I enjoyed it. So, surprise, surprise, it's Chain of Gold. Now, let me give you like a background story. So I've always known about the Shadowhunter series. I've heard about the movie. I've seen like little bits of the show, which was quite terrible if you ask me. The Shadowhunter series, or like the Chronicles or the universe, was just kind of daunting to me because there's so many. I think there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 to 5-ish like separate series, or like chunks of, yeah, series within like that universe that has different timelines and different events. It's a lot, but I finally gave it a chance when I found some of the books in my local thrift stores. Just kind of forced me to just like start reading the books. So I started with the Mortal Instruments. I know I'm on like 5 and 6, and it's literally been taking me a year to sort of finish the Mortal Instruments. I read the Infernal Devices sometime around last year, and it was the best freaking thing ever. I think for the longest time that was my favorite series out of all that she had in like the Shadowhunter universe. And then I bought the books for the Dark Artifices. I have not read them yet, but I think I'm gonna start them because I just finished this, and I'm kind of like craving more Shadowhunter type stories and just people. This book, Chain of Gold, The Last Hours, definitely surpassed the Infernal Devices. So this is a direct sequel to the Infernal Devices. Yeah, I loved it so much. I loved every single, well, I wouldn't say I loved every single character in this book. If you know, you know. If there's one word that I could use to describe this book, it would be heart-wrenching, both in a positive and negative way. And for those of you who've read it, you probably can agree with me that it is definitely a heart-wrenching book, and I cannot wait for book 2. And I'm sad that we have to wait another year, but here's to hoping that I can somehow get my hands on an ARC. I don't know, Simon & Schuster, if you're watching this, please send me the second book. Thank you. I devoured this book in like a day, and it's like what, like $5.50? But yeah, Cassandra Clare definitely doesn't disappoint, and I think she's evolved so much from writing City of Bones to now, and I can't get enough. I love it. Okay, that's it for this video. Hello to my 5 subscribers who are loyal and have stayed on, and hello to the new ones. We hope you stay long. It's just me. I hope you stay here long enough. Stay tuned for more videos now that the whole like coronavirus situation, my university has canceled classes, and now we're moving to an online format, so I will be home more, which I'm not complaining because I love staying at home and just not talking to people. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Bye.